Today I'm going to do something I've been thinking about doing since like halfway through WandaVision. Just like a brief summary on WandaVision. I thought it was great, fantastic. Kind of wish they didn't treat Evan Peters. Spoiler alert, by the way. I kind of wish they didn't treat Evan Peters Quicksilver like a boner joke. And I kind of wish they had like a little bit of a cameo with Doctor Strange, given the fact that he got a burst of magic in Jersey that's not too far from Greenwich Village, where his house is. You would think he would have popped up, but that's neither here nor there. But it's still overall, besides those things, I think it was like 98 great show, 98% of a great show. But moving forward with these new Disney Plus shows, I would be then uh, making like a short video talking about my thoughts on the episode after I watch it, at least a few hours after I see it, and then post it onto the channel so that way you guys can know my thoughts on the subject. But Falcon and the Winter Soldier, man, that is like a great first episode. I don't know how many. Maybe it's like 9 episodes. I think it's 9 episodes, 8 or 9. But this is like a great. This is supposed to be first before WandaVision, but they kind of flipped it. But anyway, this is a nice little. It's kind of like a just like when just like the Captain America Winter Soldier. It's kind of like a spy thriller kind of thing. This is very good, and I'm glad they're making this like not a complete hour long, but like 49 minutes on this episode if you include the credits. Which, by the way, I wish they. What's up with Marvel with their TV shows where they're like not adding in end credits? Because like we all know what's up. Include some end credits in this stuff. I mean, like, why are you waiting until like the tail end, just like you did with WandaVision? You wait until the tail end when like last few episodes to start deciding to include some end credits. It's like I know we want to have the credits showing all the people who worked on this project, and that's great. They deserve all the love and respect and admiration. But we expect after all that, you include some end credits. But anyway, in this first episode, spoiler alert, by the way, this is the first episode where Falcon and Bucky haven't ran into each other yet, even though Falcon has been giving Bucky some texts, because apparently, because this leads right after, at least a few months after the events of Endgame, where Steve gave Sam his shield, passing it on to someone who he thought was more worthy of the mantle. Even though Bucky's probably just as worthy, he think like Sam, in his opinion, earned it. And but that weight of responsibility was kind of like I guess too much in Sam's eyes, where he just decided to like give it to the Smithsonian, have it be a symbol of what this man, who by and large is something that we all should aspire to be. He left a very lasting impression on all of us for 10 years of these movies, and he's just like just like with Superman, the epitome of hope and optimism, and like just like standing around to fight like bullies and just around evil bad guys, and it's like you want like someone to inspire to, and Falcon just doesn't feel like he can measure up to all that. At least in my opinion, that's what he's in his mind, that's how he's like feeling. But then you got him like talking with Rhodey, who had like a little cameo here, whereas like he just like Sam, he lost one of his dearest friends after the events, and it's like now they just gotta figure out how to move on and like honor them as best as they could. Then you got Bucky, who's like he's back, just like Sam and him and Bucky pretty much got like whipped out of existence after the events of Infinity War. But after they came back, lots of things changed. Well, well, get to Bucky in a minute. I want to concentrate on Sam a little bit in this first half of the video. Then second half, I'll talk about Bucky. But Sam, apparently, he has like a sister and two nephews. I guess they didn't blip out of existence, luckily. So it was just him from there, because I'm pretty sure they were the only piece of the Wilson family left around. But I guess those three managed to stay in existence while he was blipped away. Uh, but none, when he came back, they tried to move on, and it's like it was, you know, kind of tough in a way for him to like acknowledge the fact that he's been gone so long. He missed the growth of his nephews because they was like knee high the last time he saw them. Now they're like darn near in their preteens, or at least about to be teenagers, and it's like he's trying to get everything is like house in order. Apparently their parents left them like this boat. I guess they're like I don't know if they like own like some kind of like a fishing company, or at least like a little kind of thing, coinciding with like some kind of little fishing stuff, because they got a fishing boat. They fish obviously, and then like along the shore, they got something. At least they sell wherever they catch, kind of thing. I don't know what you exactly call it professionally, but you know, during the time that he was gone, she was trying to keep it afloat in a way. Pardon the pun, but he, I mean, he's trying to again, trying to help, but she's not accepting his help. He's been gone. He doesn't know what she had to deal with while he was gone, but he's trying to make things right. But they go into this bank, and of course, the bank teller is fanboying out because he literally like got one of the Avengers with him, and he's taking like selfies and everything like that. They, uh, because he's trying. Oh, looks like sorry, Brian. It looks like I'm getting like a lot of uh uh interference with like the network issues. I don't know what's going on, but I'm sitting there talking about like I'm going to talk about like the Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm going to start off with Falcon first. Then we'll talk about Bucky. Uh, Falcon, of course, Sam. He's him and Bucky was built out of existence for 5 years. They coming back. Falcon, got the shield from Cap, who he left it to him. The hopes that okay, I leaving it to you because I believe you are worthy of carrying this mantle after, like, because I can't do this no more. I'm happy. You take over as Captain America, essentially. But Falcon, Sam, he doesn't feel like he's putting in a Smithsonian, giving this very good speech about living up to the ideals of Captain America and Steve Rogers, what he represented, the optimism, the good, the hopefulness, and it's like no one can replace Captain America. No one can ever could, and because no one can ever measure up because he was an epitome of good people, and then he talks with Rhodey, who he feels like he lost Tony too, so like they both lost the dearest of friends through this entire event, and they just gonna have to try to like move on. But then Sam trying to help his sister, who she and her two sons weren't blipped out of existence. The last time he saw them, and the boys were like knee high, and when he came back, then now they're almost teenagers, like in the preteens leading into teenager years, and he's trying to get his house in order, but I think like they was partner ownership of this fishing company or fishing boat at least, where like their parents did that job and she took over when they passed, but is in dire straits. But he's trying to help her get everything back in order and going to this bank. The bank teller is fanboying out because he like got one of the Avengers across his desk, and like how this goes. I mean, you've seen in different films like you would think a guy would be understanding, especially being like a fan. You would, try to help him out. But it's like, well, it's like it's hard for me to do this because like, you know, normally, we could help, but it's like billions of people coming back, and it's like we're trying to like help everyone, but we can't. And, because it's like, there's only like so much amount of money we can go around to try to get everybody, back on their feet. But it's like he's asking like, well, didn't like Tony Stark? He was part of the Avengers. Didn't Tony Stark have some kind of union or this and that and the other? It's like no. It's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like a outreach program, or like you're going overseas to help out, like Doctors Without Borders kind of system. Kind of like that in a way. It's like where the Avengers do just help out people. There's no monetary value of them doing all that. But it's like uh it is kind of messed up. But I mean, I'm on a fence about it because like if you watch like a Fandom Entertainment, it's on like YouTube. It's like I've watched them a lot. And a few years ago, after the events of Infinity War, when like they had like experts talking about this, I remember it very specifically. It was very like a very great intellectual conversation where they're talking about pretty much it's like, you know, you got half of the population of the world blinking out of existence for 5 years. And for the most part, everybody's thinking like they're just gone permanently. They're not coming back. And then got to rebuild and like trying to get everything in order. And people mostly move on, got different partners mostly, or trying to start a new family. And it's like, or it's like whatever the case may be. But then all of a sudden everybody's bringing back in existence and trying to restart their life because, getting like into all their IDs and, like trying to get, homes and trying to live again. And it's like, nah, it's like okay, it's like we're on like a little it's like it's tight pretty much. It's like there's only so much to go around, especially for half the population of the world. It's not just limited to maybe like New York or anything like that. Otherwise, we might do something. But uh, but yeah, then of course like that's waiting on Sam because there's a lot of people are dealing with that. Of course, his partner, his friend, what's his name? Forgot his friend's name in the military. Uh, he's tracking down this terrorist group that formed after the events of the of Endgame, where everybody blipped back into existence, and they are some kind of brand new group of terrorists that kind of want to bring everybody back to where it was, where like half of the people are gone, and like the borders along the world it was more lax because like everybody was essentially I guess more together rather than torn apart. But it's just like you know he's done with that group. That's going to probably be like building probably into what Baron Zemo is probably going to be a part of when in like the later episodes and whenever he comes in. I can definitely see that happening. But you can, and then you got Backtrack the Leaper. Last time you saw him, he was was in the Winter Soldier movie, and it's fun to get those kind of characters back. Just like those, just run of the mill, bad guys stuck. Just like kind of like Claw was in Black Panther. It's like those run of the mill bad guys. It's like they're not dead, but they're not like no big world-ending kind of villains. It's like just like at the most Kingpin level kind of villains that a single hero can easily deal with, or like he could easily be like a henchman of the Kingpin kind of level, but that kind of thing. But it's great to see him back. But then the whole entire opening scene with him flying with Sam flying is like this is straight up something like you'll see in one of the Avengers movies, and it's like this is great stuff here. But then you got Bucky, who's dealing with his own issues with like PTSD because like he's having nightmares. He's going to the psychiatrist, but he's not telling her like he's having nightmares that all the harm he did as the Winter Soldier is creeping into his mind, and it's like he's trying to deal with it as best he can. But it's tough on him. It's weighing on him in a way that it's like he's hanging out with this old Japanese man, and like you don't know like with the details of their relationship, but he's in there hanging out uh, at this restaurant, and they're just chatting up a storm, and then you come to realize because one of his nightmares he ended up killing this young Asian man because while he was Winter Soldier, he's taking out targets for Hydra, and he also had to off any witnesses that might be around. So that Asian man was the son of the guy he's hanging out with, because I guess he can't bring himself to tell him. He wants to tell him what happened because he part of his rehabilitation and pardon from all his war crimes was just like trying to like ease back into society as a normal citizen and not committing crimes. Of course, he also just wanted to. He has a little book there. He's like a list of people he's trying to make amends with. But most of those people are also people who were part of Hydra that he's also not killing, but getting them arrested and found out that they are still secretly Hydra, or at least Hydra remnants. But I like this little Sebastian Stan's amazing as Winter Soldier. I love him. I follow him on Instagram. He's great. He's a funny dude. But one of the scenes when he's like trying to he's locked this woman who was part of Hydra, who helped get to like a high government office, and he trapped her in a vehicle, and like he walks up, he pretty much trapped her in there while the cops are coming. He's in there walking up to her, and it's like, hi, I'm Bucky Barnes. I'm pretty sure he's introduced himself. It's like, hi, I'm Bucky Barnes. I'm here to make amends, or something like that. It was so funny, and he's so charismatic about it. And it's like he can easily beat her to death if he wanted to, but he's just trying not to break certain rules. He's trying to loophole his way around like the rules that is given by his psychiatrist, not to break any laws or kill or and make amends, like that kind of thing. He's trying to like do all that, but in his own way. But he can't bring himself to like make amends to his old man, because like how can he? I guess how can he tell this man he was the one who killed his son? And because for all he knows, he's no way. He doesn't know the full story what happened to his son. But yeah, that's weighing on him. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, then then you got like I said, those terrorist group that is also coming into the mix. But then I'm glad we get to see the effects of because like Spider-Man was the only one that kind of touched on it in like a comedic way, but there's also a serious note because it wasn't like all sunshine and rainbows, even though like his aunt did touch on it, like making this little charity organization trying to make this like relief fund for like essentially refugees. Half of the population became refugees because they, by all intents and purposes, were legally dead, and nobody thought they was ever going to come back until they just came back, and now they trying to, everybody around the world is trying to like get back on their feet and try to do something to help everybody as best they can, and it's just like it's a whole thing, and it's like and they touched on WandaVision as well, with the people of that little neighborhood that she pretty much like took over. That when she walked in, everybody was sitting down, because like small towns around the world, I'm pretty sure was affected or devastated the most, considering there was only like a little population of them, and then half of them disappeared, and then through 5 years, most of them probably either moved away or tried to struggle to move on, because like most of the town was dilapidated to a certain extent. So like we're gonna be feeling these effects of the snap for at least a few films, because this is something like you can't just gloss over, because it's kind of like because one of the things I like about Daredevil TV show is the fact that when he gets beat up like really bad, it takes each like there's like at least an episode where he's healing. It's not like most other TV shows where it's like you might see like a bruise or two on his face, but he's on his feet kind of thing and still doing fighting crime. No, no, he's still human, and it's like okay, he needs to take time to heal up, at least heal up for a day before he's tried to like jump out, but still wounded, hurt, straining kind of thing. You see that, and it's properly represented. And it's kind of like this on a larger scale that you want to see like the ramifications of not only the snap but the blip back into existence, because that's something that definitely needs to be explored. Like the financial struggle, the living struggle, the trying to like reform bonds that pretty much was severed almost. Because like this families was like, kind of broken apart, or friendships that's broken apart, or relationships that's broken apart, and they're trying to reattach it too. That's another thing that needs to be explored, and I'm very interested and very eager to find out okay how this will continue. But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the first episode, and it's like, I'm curious to know what you guys think. What you guys think about what's going on with Bucky so far? What you think about what Sam's going through so far, and what you think about like these terrorist groups? So, like, do you agree with them about what's going on with them so far, like their overall goals, or at least what are your thoughts about their goals, and what you expect to happen in the next episode? Because they left it on a big cliffhanger with Sam fuming when the government had the mitigated goal to just give away, not even they didn't even bother to ask Sam's permission at the very least, because by all intents and purposes he's the legal owner of that shield, and he gave them that shield in confidence to be stored in a museum, to not to be messed with, and they go around behind his back and give it to some janky uh 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 Captain America, well, it's U.S. agent. If you're not familiar with U.S. agent in the comics, it seems much like the government tried to like make their own updated Captain America for the current times to someone who they feel like they can control. Because Captain America, they don't feel like they can control him because he's too optimistic and like he's too much a rebel in a sense of like doing what's absolutely right, and he's not loyal to any government at all. He's just out there doing the right thing for everybody. So the government pretty much like, in the comics made this their own Captain America, but call him U.S. agent that was only loyal to America and whatever the government needs him to do, that kind of thing. And he's kind of like a jerk. He's not like a full-on bad guy in the comics. He's not a full-on bad guy. He's just kind of like an a-hole, pretty much. Not somebody you can trust to be on like a team to work together with, kind of thing. And he got this weird little chin when he's like in that whole helmet gear, and it's like this chin thing. It look like bad cosplay in a way. I think that's the purpose, that he's supposed to look janky. And it's like not right to your eyes. But yeah, I'm curious to see how that leads into it. Let's see what are your thoughts. Please leave a comment below. Don't forget to leave a like and share this with your friends. And follow me. Like I'll put up like a brief video of my thoughts about like the next episode next week. And yeah, take care, and I'll see you guys soon.